and welcome back to my channel. And for this session you join me at Willow Park Fishery. Now I have 36 hours ahead of me, so it's Friday morning. I booked the day off work and I've got till gates closing 6 PM tomorrow, Saturday, to try and catch myself a carp out of the big lake. So I've never been here before. It's been on my radar for a little while, just not been able to get here for one reason or another. So I'm currently stood in peg number 10. Gives me access to a lot of water. One of the pegs that sort of give you up to 80 yards range, so a lot of distance, as well as sort of a bit of a left to right as well. First and foremost, I need to get the deeper out really and have a look to see what I've got to play with underneath the surface, and that will give me a better idea of a plan of attack for this session. So before we've got some heavy rain moving in, I'm going to try and get that out there mapped within reason, and then yeah, we can get this show on the road. I've got the got the spod rod out, put the excuse me, got the chirp on it, and you're never going to believe it. Literally, I just underarmed the chirp out in the margin just to establish the Wi-Fi connection, and badoosh, one fish comes out. I don't know, 2-3 rod lengths. Literally just here, whilst the chirp was obviously just establishing connection and stuff like that. Look at this on the phone. This is the scan. So these, I tell a lot of people on the Facebook deeper group, look for these arches. But yeah, just as the deeper was sat there, as it was trying to connect, it connected. Look at all these arches and these lines. That is basically fish sat static and fish moving in and out of the sonar cone. So I thought, you know what, I'll just flick it out there, and I'll give it another little flick and another little reel in. All these arches are fish, and they are all throughout 10 foot of water out in front of me. Right, you know, right, couple of foot off the bottom, right up to 6, 7, 8 foot. Look at that. Could not believe it. That is the raw data right there. That is the sonar picking up data pretty much right underneath my feet. So for the moment and for the next couple of hours, whilst I get everything else set up, I am going to quickly knock up a couple of bags, underarm them out, and there may well just be a chance of sticking an early fish on the map. But that is mental. You know, if the chirp would have landed in the water like 10 seconds later, it would have probably bonked the fish on the head as it come out. Could not believe it. But look at that. In 6 acres of water, they are right underneath my feet. Well then, I could not get this bag made up quick enough. Now, as you would have seen on the entrance to the fishery, there's no leaders and no barbed hooks. So I've got tube in there, down to a solid bag stem, inline 2.5 ounce lead, small quarter solid bag, my ever faithful pink sea monster hook bait, edge pellets. All that's needed now is to just underarm it out 2-3 rod lengths, get the rod upside down, and hopefully, fingers crossed, wait for that spool to spin. On sticks, home is set up, rest of my gear is under the ground sheet, and the first signs of rain are starting to come down. Start to feel the drops coming down. We are in for pretty much a day of rain by the looks of it. But saying that, just before I flick the camera on, I see another fish roll, literally, you know, 2-3 rod lengths out, so they're still here. Before this rain starts to really set in, I think I'm just going to flick the deeper out a little bit more, just a little bit further, just try and get a little gauge of what's going on there. But I'm more than happy with just leaving the rods down there for a couple of hours, seeing if I manage to pick a fish off. And depending on what I find out there and what happens through the course of the day, I'll just keep my eyes peeled from the comfort of the tactical brolly. Everything is tucked up under there. Absolutely lovely. These swims are really quite spacious, to be quite honest with you. pretty much most of them, I think, are double swims there or thereabouts. So really spacious, and get the pegs and everything in there nice and snug. No force needed. It's quite soft underneath this wood chip. But yeah, everything's tucked up under there. Rods are doing it. I just hope that spotting them fish, dropping in here, does me a fish or two over the course of the weekend. It's actually getting quite busy now as well. There's not very many swims left to choose from, so moving may be limited or not even an option at all, so we're gonna have to play it by ear. But yeah, I'll keep you updated through the course of the session. My thinking, what I'm going to do, maybe put a bit of bait out, that sort of thing, see if I can entice them down. But yeah, for now I'm going to just flick the deeper back out, see if I can find any other likely looking areas, and we'll take it from there. Do whilst it's raining is just prep some bait. I think I am going to give them sort of 3 or 4 spawns tonight over each rod to really sort of try and draw them down if they are sort of hovering in the sort of top half of the layers. Just give them something to hopefully draw them down, and obviously there'll be bait down there to see me through the night as well. So I may move off the solid bags onto a couple of pop-up rigs or wafter rigs, but I'm definitely going to give them some grub. The bailiff's been round, had a little drive round. He said that I can use maggots. He said that pellets and boilie crumbs been doing bites recently as well. And he also said, well, he is the third person that said don't ignore the right hand margin. So what I might do tonight is have one out in front, 3 or 4 rod lengths max, and then the right hand rod down off the edge of the tree that's to my right in my margin. I would be crazy to ignore 3 people saying that, so there must be obviously something in it. Obviously fish must get caught and come from that area, so I've got nothing to lose by sticking a rod down there. The shows and the fish that have been giving themselves away have kind of stopped really over the last couple of hours, so I may even just move a solid bag down there for the sort of late afternoon period. It's coming on to around sort of midday now, so yeah, whilst it's raining I've just prepped a bag of sort of bait. Like I say, in there it's got creamy pellet, monster red pellet, really quick breakdown, absolutely pumped, full of attraction. Those monster red pellets just give off like a real nice red haze. The creamy ones obviously just smell absolutely lovely. The maggots are obviously just maggots, work pretty much everywhere. There's not too many silvers in here either, I believe, so they may just last the duration and not get nibbled by any of the smaller fish. And then what I'm doing is doing it old school. I've got my quarter crusher. I am just getting a very small handful of baits, and the bait I'm crushing up is the matching shelf life boilie. So creamy shelf life boilie, monster red shelf life boilie, sticking it in me little crusher, just giving it a grind down. It's not really into a dust, just more bitty really, just bits, stuff that will just flutter down on the lake bed, create a bit of a carpet for them to graze over. Again, the monster red pellets just absolutely leak and ooze attraction. Smells spicy but nice and creamy. So a couple of different boilies there. I've not really used the monster red ones before, so I said to myself this winter I'll get myself a bit of a starter pack, so I've got everything, so liquids, pellets, boilies, oil, that sort of thing, and just give it a go over the winter. I've been using it on my little short sessions in my little PVA sort of walnut sized bags when I go down the club lake, and yeah, I've been getting bites off those. So you know what, now is the time to really start to put it into action, get it out there, and yeah, see if these Willow Park carp also like it. So I'm going to just do a few more rounds on these boilies. Hopefully this rain
isn't setting for too much longer, I'm going to get that right hander in, stick it down the margin for a couple of hours, see if that'll nick me a bite. Just sit back and watch the water.
The rain has stopped. Still quite windy, but yeah, it means I can just get out of the brolly, stretch my legs for 5 minutes, whilst I just watch over the water and think about what I want to do for tonight. But the reason for getting the camera out now was just for to find out what you guys think of the sound. Now, I know on my last video it's really windy, and the wind was making it a nightmare for sort of like me speaking to camera, etc., and the quality wasn't that great. So what I've done is bought a little sort of muffler to just DIY it around the front part of my camera, where obviously like the mic and stuff like that is. So I don't know if you can see that there, look, let's have a look. It's got a little beard, so there you go. It's got a little beard, so let me know what you think of the sound quality. Is there any wind noise, or has it reduced it sort of dramatically? Because I'm hoping that that's going to do a job and just stop that sort of wind noise from being an absolute nightmare on my videos. So yeah, let me know down below if it's improved the quality and got rid of some or most of that wind noise. But for now, whilst we've got a break in this rain and stuff, I'm just going to watch out over the water, stretch my legs, think about what I want to do tonight. It's around sort of 10 to 6, and yeah, really quiet night. We had really sort of heavy sporadic showers through the night, but on the alarm front, nothing at all. So as I said, I was going to set my alarm nice and early for sunrise. It's just starting to get light now. I can just start to see across the lake, and it isn't as windy yet as yesterday, so I can hear shows as well. So hopefully I can spot them at some point throughout the morning. Obviously the gates reopen at 7 AM, which means any other anglers can turn up. So I've got a good hour to really sort of make my decision if I'm going to move, because those swims may become occupied then by the anglers turning up for today. So like I say, I've got an hour to try and decide what I want to do and get my barrow loaded and get moving. So I'm gonna have a quick coffee. I think we're due a little bit of rain this morning in the next sort of half an hour. Fingers crossed it doesn't. I'd rather be stood out at the front of the swim just looking across this to try and make my decision on what to do. So I will keep you updated once I've decided what I'm going to do with myself. Right, well, I'm not hesitating in making the move. I've seen one show from underneath the brolly, just at a very short, sharp rain shower moved over, and then I've seen another show from peg 9. So, oh, there we go. Literally, where was that one? Somewhere around, there you go, there. The other one was much further out, best part of 80 yards probably. the maximum from peg 9. But I've definitely got to make the move. I see nothing in front of my swim now since that heavy rain yesterday. So I'm getting in here. That was only a short flick, probably 40 yards if so, something like that. That other one probably doubled. Well, the 2 other shows that I saw were in line with this, whatever this white thing is on the distance on the horizon there. Probably 80 yards. But yeah, got to be done. The rods are out. I'm still seeing repeated shows out there, so I'm definitely confident that I'm now back on fish, and I've given myself the chance of actually trying to catch one as well. It's an absolute bomb site behind me. I've literally just dragged my stuff from down the bank and literally dumped it on the floor whilst I was in a mad dash to get the rods out, but yeah, it's looking good for it. Had the rods in, the shows have really dried up out in open water now, but yeah, just coming around for a look really. The angler who was sort of down to my right has departed, and I know he had a couple of fish, so one of the bailiffs told me, so I'd be rude not to come and have a look down here for the next sort of 5 or 6 hours. Now the sun is just over my shoulder. It's absolutely beautiful in this little sort of bay area. Just seeing the best part of this sun. I've absolutely no idea how deep it is. It doesn't look overly deep, so I'd imagine about sort of, I don't know, 4 or 5 foot at a guess. But it's definitely a lot warmer around here than it is in the face of that wind. So I'm just coming round, having a little look, just spend half an hour sort of just watching the water as and when the sun breaks through the clouds. Just seeing if I can see anything really. Don't just want to sit out there and hope that the fish move across and find those 2 solid bags. I want to go and try and make something happen really. Obviously it's not raining or anything like that, so the weather's on my side. I've got everything packed down, so it'll just be a case of coming round and just dropping a couple of solid bags out. But yeah, it's got to be worth a go for a few hours at least, just staying mobile, fishing off the barrow, a couple of rods, just seeing if I can nick myself a bite. So all I'm trying to do now is catch myself a fish, rather than put any form of sort of, you know, any sort of big hits or anything like that. It's not about that. I'm just trying to catch myself my first fish. So I'm going to put the camera down, a bit boggy down here, because you know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up on my arse. So I'll update you once I've decided where I'm going to drop into. Right, rucksack's on, barrow's loaded. Can only mean one thing, I'm on the move again. I've just been sat here for the last sort of 10-15 minutes just watching them, repeated show, right down the other end of the lake. Now someone has just turned up in the swim that I was going to jump into, right in there, but I believe there is one right next door, which will still give me access to the water, hopefully, that they're showing in. So as long as no one is in there, which by the looks of it there isn't, I'm going to go and sling 2 solid bags out up there. Hopefully one of them boshes out whilst I'm up there, just give me a bit of a sight, a bit of a range, sort of range shot, so I know where to stick them. but I've got a good idea anyway. I have to watch them for the last sort of 10-15 minutes, but that's going to be it then. Last chance saloon, 2.5 hours or so up there. Oh, come on the carp. Actually gone in the swim that I said I was going to go in. Come into peg number 1. I've had a good look up this bank here. The sun is beating down right from behind it. It's right on the back of the wind. It feels like I'm in the Bahamas up here than when I was down there. So I don't know, I just fancy this area. Like I say, it's off the back of the wind. It feels loads warmer. There's a big sort of overhanging cut down sort of tree here. It's just something, you know, I don't know, something's just appealing about this area. You know, it's just a quiet, secluded little corner, probably overlooked, and I just wonder with that sun coming right down into this area, whether one or two might just be getting in and around, you know, the flat water off the back of the wind. It definitely, you know, feels good to me, so it's got to feel good to the carp. You know, coming out of the winter with all that rain and stuff that we had yesterday, this has got to be loads warmer. So I think I'm just going to chance it in here. Drop a bag underneath here. Probably just flick one out 20-30 yards out here. Just sit it out for the next couple of hours. Into the last hour of the session. Now I'm going to keep this outro really short and sweet. You've heard enough of my voice, seen enough of my face over the last 36 hours. The rods are still out. If by any chance that one of them do rattle off in the next hour, I'll be sure to have the camera back on. If you got this far watching, thank you as always. If you're a new watcher to the channel, this is a new video to you, don't forget to subscribe. I'm getting ever closer to those 5,000 followers, so don't forget to come and subscribe over to my channel. As always, feel free to get in touch over on my social media, Facebook, Instagram, the usual business. Leave me a comment down below, and yeah, I will catch up with you next time I am out on the bank. I will definitely be back to Willow Park. I will have a score to settle. They have run me ragged on this session for little, or well, no reward even. Say little reward, absolutely no reward. So thank you for watching. As always, I will catch up with you very, very soon.